YouTube, how we doing? PPS back. It is past the Prop Wednesday edition. We are off of the NFL this week. We're not going to Thursday Night Football yet again, but we're heading to NBA. We're heading to the NBA streets for our second straight show. Obviously, if you guys tuned in, we did pretty well on that one. So we couldn't have Vaughn skip out on us this time. We had to pop him back in. 2 straight shows. Vaughn, how we doing, man?
Doing well. Hoping we can repeat the success. It's another great NBA slate. Lots of games today. Lots of great player props out there. So, yeah, let's have a day, gentlemen.
Stu, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I scrolled up through Twitter a little bit earlier today. I saw every person I know is suddenly verified now. So I'm wondering, are we paying for our Twitter verifications after this show, or what are we doing? What's the move right there?
I'm gonna be honest. Twitter's not a real place, so I don't need to ever be verified on it. At one point in time, I felt like I should have been verified, and I applied. And every time they said NBC Sports Edge is not big enough to verify, but I see dudes from Fansided and other places I worked for 3-4 years ago getting verified with 2,000 followers. So to me, a verification on Twitter means nothing. When you walk into a room, are you verified as a human being? We'll see about that. Do you get the attention of others? Forget about Twitter Blue.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. I saw like 3 dudes I checked out on there were all verified and all like the same day. So it's like all just real quick. But so you're going to be
now, guys. I could be verified now, okay? I could buy it now and I'd have a little check mark by the end of the show. So
is that how it is now? You just have to pay for it?
Yep. Yeah, the new Musk rule, man. Everyone's verified. It's cool. But I like that. Vaughn dropped some wisdom on us right here. That's what we should really take away.
That's how I feel. Period.
Let's take a look at who's in the chat here. We got Jay. We got Terrence in here. Turbo, as always. Ryan, we appreciate all you guys popping in here early for our first couple minutes. A little breakdown. Obviously, Monday's show, we had, 15 NBA games there. We usually do a takeaways. Do you guys have any takeaways in that game for any of those games that you guys watch? Obviously, there was some pretty big totals, some huge games, obviously, besides our guys, right? Besides our easy winners that we had there. And then Steven Adams just dropping out. Didn't want to get the 6-0 because Steven Adams had to sit out for us. But
I think the Clippers showed a lot of heart in that second half of that back-to-back game against the Cavaliers. I was really impressed with the 20-1 stretch or whatever it might have been, 21 to run they put on. And also just the Mavericks and Nets game lived up to the expectations we all had for that game. Especially with Kevin Durant getting fouled and then him missing the second free throw, breaking that 62-made stretch. So, I thought those were the 2 most interesting games for sure, the most entertaining games. And I feel like we'll be talking about Durant today, but I feel like Durant is really going to be trying to be aggressive tonight after letting his team down in that previous game. They've looked good since Kyrie's been gone, Steve Nash has been gone. Let's see if the Nets can do it because they're home underdogs tonight. We all know they're like a 20% ATS team as a home underdog dating back to last year. So it's a big night to be a Nets fan.
Yeah. And Sue, I would say for me, I tailed your Curry bet, so that was easy. But watching that game, man, it feels like the Warriors at the moment, at least, are not a team we really want to be scared of for these props anymore. It's a team we want to be targeting, right? Because like we said on the show, they're not playing much defense. So kind of looking forward to more of those high-scoring games where it's really Steph kind of having to carry a lot of the load on his shoulders. Not playing today, but definitely something to look out for tomorrow.
Yeah, and mine's going to be, obviously, I had my buddy Healed bet. We'll go through our recap here, but, man, what a game by them. 129, 122? Fun game, right? We're getting up and down the court. Man, Buddy Healed made me sweat that one. But Tyrese Halliburton, again, just putting on an absolute clinic, dude. He's from Oshkosh, about 20 minutes from my hometown here. Obviously, I've watched him in high school and everything around here. Dude is a monster, man. It's starting to get pretty unreal. And Miles Turner, where are you coming from? Jesus Christ. I was not expecting the line that I saw from him in that game. That was weird.
Hey, man, Lakers are watching. Okay. he pitched it earlier on ESPN, so he's playing motivated.
Yeah, I can't believe you said that. That was like one of the weirder ones I've seen where he's just like, oh, yeah, I would do that if I was that. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, you're not the owner here? What the hell?
It's modern day NBA for you. The players can pick and choose where they go nowadays. It's a nice thing to have.
Let's do our recap here. Looks like we got 32 of you guys in here live in the first 5 minutes. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you got questions, drop them in the chat, and we will get to them shortly. But let's run down our recap from last show. And obviously, if you guys follow us over on Twitter, you saw it was all green. Everything was green. Curry absolutely cooked, man. What do you have, 24 at half?
Yeah.
Third quarter cash.
Only thing we didn't have green was a red injury sticker right there by Mr. Steven Adams. This took years off my life. I'm not gonna lie. He needed 4 with like 4 minutes left. Didn't do anything with like 2 minutes left. He smashes a 3 and then grabs a rebound with 40 seconds left. That was one you go like this. You just point up and crazy. And then obviously Cade, man, what a performance by him. I think he was almost pushing triple-double for a little bit there, right? He had like crazy numbers.
Yeah, him and Halliburton both, man. They both were on triple-double watch for a long time in that game.
Obviously, our one spot there from Stu. What did he end up with? I saw Booker was cooking too.
Yeah, well, that was another mid-30s game, right, against the Sixers. So history is just going to keep repeating itself.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges too. He did all right.
Yep. Got there at the last minute, right? Just enough revenge in his body left to hit that shot. Good for him, man.
Booker actually finished with 28, so it was a sweat somehow. But he hit it earlier in the game. They got blown out a little bit.
My only regret, I said I should have maxed this thing. I should have. I think Banchero hit this first half. SGA had 23 at half. So I should just max this thing, dude. I was literally talking about it behind the scenes before with you guys. I'm like, dude, why should I not just smash this thing? And I'm like, I'll give it 1.5, but damn, that was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. That SGA collab was easy. The Booker collab was easy. So I'm happy that those went really well.
Yeah, and another thing too, if we don't talk about SGA today, I just want to mention, we talked about last time, that free throws over on Prize Picks. If you have Prize Picks, it was free money. This guy's going to shoot like 10 free throws every game. So I bet it's going to be right up there again today. Just want to throw that out there. Love those free throws props, especially SGA, man. Get into the line.
He's got a great matchup today with no Giannis, no Drew Holiday. His points props still sit at 27.5 though. Which is definitely fishy because that should definitely have went up to 29.5 in my opinion. But yeah, he should be at the free throw line plenty.
The only guy I'm even remotely worried about with the Bucks is just Brook Lopez, obviously in the paint. You just got a big freaking tree standing there doing nothing except blocking shots. And then I don't know if you guys remember, we got our boy from West Virginia. I think that's where he went, is Javon Carter. Yeah. The ball, dude, just sniping threes and playing defense, dude. That's all he does for the Bucks. That's literally his only job. But he's playing like 30 minutes a game, even when those guys are healthy.
New PJ Tucker.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, PJ. Good old PJ. I think
Milwaukee Bucks will fill his spot. No problem.
Let's we had Ryan dropping in the chat recap, and it's just 7 straight W's in there. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys all took all 5 of those plays and got those in there. We will be talking about that game, Jay. We have I believe Vaughn's got a spot in that one as well. Before we get started, I know I'm going to have a play in this game, but I'll kick this over. Either one of you guys have a thought on Jarrett Allen tonight? His double-double sitting at like minus 135. I mean, he's pretty damn good down there, and this is a pretty nice matchup.
Yeah, I would say he has size advantage over the Kings centers, right? So I don't think rebounding will be the biggest problem here. So, yeah, I definitely think that's a pretty good look. I bet it'll probably end up minus 160 by closing on most sites. So I think that's pretty good value.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. I actually was trying to circle a player or two in that game. I really like the guard play in that game for Garland, Mitchell. Wouldn't talk anyone off of Fox, but the big man I actually circled in that game was Evan Mobley. Not to say that Jarrett Allen couldn't double-double, but Mobley's looked really good recently when he's not in foul trouble like Sabonis. And Evan Mobley in his 2 meetings last year against the Kings, 17, 5-5, 15, 15-2. So 2 really big games as a rookie against them, but Sabonis wasn't there. So I don't hate Jared Allen. He'll be in the paint a lot, but I think all around with the Cavs tonight is a pretty good play against the Kings in general. I wouldn't talk out any overs.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail, but that is where we're going to start today. We're going to start off with Vmoney, with our guy that is on the front page of the show, kicking us off here with a pretty hefty number. But, I mean, how can you stay away from Kevin Durant at this point?
Yeah, I mean, well, people have probably played Kevin Durant the past few games and lost on him repeatedly without Kyrie Irving, thinking that he was going to get these 30-plus point games. I mean, against the Dallas Mavericks, his line was 31.5, 32.5 points. And the Mavericks play at the slowest pace in the NBA. So that wasn't primarily a great spot when the Mavericks play good perimeter defense as well. And you look at the other two games against Washington and Charlotte, and I'm sure everyone was salivating at the mouth as soon as Kyrie was out, like Kevin Durant's about to go crazy. But what he did is pass the ball a lot, rebound a lot, and they had one blowout win, one other close win. But here is the spot. I waited a couple games. I thought about the Dallas game, saw the pace, and said, this Knicks game coming up off a day of rest is a great spot for Durant to go crazy. And after he missed those freebies against the Mavericks, like I mentioned earlier in the show, that only incentivized me to want to bet him more in this spot. Now, this is also a big game, state of New York, Knicks Nets, but he had 32 points and 53 points, in his last two against the Knicks. And those are with Kyrie or without James Harden too. So it's like you see these matchups, he's done the past. There's no reason he won't repeat that, especially with the Knicks allowed towards small forwards, power forwards, points per game, three-pointers made, and the defensive rating. So sign me up. I think KD could go for a 35-40 piece tonight. I don't think he's going to be looking to pass a lot. If you look at his passes received to passes made, he's receiving almost as double the amount of passes that he's making. So it's going to continue tonight.
Hey, if I could shoot like Kevin Durant, it would be more lopsided than that. Okay, I'm not passing it to anybody, but double teams can definitely be a problem. But yeah, the volume's just unmatched. I mean, we're talking about elite usage right now without Kyrie Irving. I mean, Luka is kind of on a stage of his own right now, but I would say Durant is probably in that second tier right under Luka. It's hard for me to disagree. I do think that Randall being there and being kind of the same similar size build makes it so that he might see less double teams. Actually, they kind of trust their guy to go one-on-one a little more than a team that doesn't have a guy that fits that build whatsoever. So it'll be interesting how they defend him, because obviously KD is KD, so he's going to be defended, very harshly. But I think he should be able to get over it with this kind of crazy volume we're having right now.
I love it. And one thing about the Knicks that I don't think everybody realizes now is they're not as slow as they used to be. They're like middle of the pack now in pace. Usually when we think about the Knicks, it's bottom 5 pace, right? And now they're middle, right? They're 6 possessions faster than the Mavericks. That's how slow Dallas is, right? They're 94 possessions per game versus 100 for the Knicks. Knicks used to be down there, and I don't know if the books really truly adjusted to that yet, because everybody sees Knicks slow. That's immediately my first thought process until we've obviously watched these first couple games this year. And, Julius Randle's focused on the offensive end, not the defensive end. So I think we're going to see a nice little KD show out here. Vaughn, I don't know if you saw the comment in there. Did you see that one about
what is it?
Rebounds, assists versus points? Obviously, he did crush the points too. Is there, when you're looking at these, what do you look for when you're going for the points, rebounds, assists versus the points? Is there something that you're looking for specifically when he's crushed both?
Yeah, I need the potential rebounds and assist lines. Like, I need to see how many rebound chances he's been having. I'm going to pull those up right now because I looked at them and I didn't actually love what I saw. So he had about 11 and 9 rebound and assist chances each, so about 20 combined over the past 3 games. And I looked at his season average. He was averaging 18.7. So I was like, he's not even seeing that much of a difference, but the difference is his teammates are converting those shots now. Like we saw Royce O'Neal hitting more shots. They're preaching for Cam Thomas to get in because he's a little offensive spark plug. Basically, it's just his teammates are rallying now because Kyrie Irving wasn't shooting the best when he was playing these past few games, and he takes the ball up so much. So I don't hate it, but at the same time, I just felt more comfortable with his points because the Knicks also give up. They're about bottom 12 in free throws attempts per game to their opponents. And if we're talking about Kevin Durant, he's getting a lot of freebies tonight. And I just can't see Julius Randle guarding him. I can't see RJ Barrett defending him. If he gets a switch and it's like Jalen Brunson or any of the guards, it's over right off the bat. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't talk you off it, but I just think his points is the way to go tonight. I think he's going to be really aggressive.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love that breakdown there. And we'll head over to you, Stu, for your first play of the day. Heading into the first quarter market, I love to see it.
Yep, I'll be going with Fred VanVleet for first quarter points, and I'm going to match that one up with Gary Trent to record a steal -110 over on DraftKings. For those that aren't familiar, DraftKings, if you go into the same game parlay, you can combine first quarter stats now, and we've had a lot of success doing that so far this year. Fred VanVleet, the biggest thing right here is no Pascal Siakam anymore, right? That guy was playing at a top tier level so far this season, but now with him not in the lineup anymore, that does open up some more usage. Over the course of his career, he's averaging over 4 first quarter points without Siakam, but that doesn't really give us a lot of context, right? There's been a lot of different situations, but when you look at this season, he's played 2 without him in the first quarter. He scored 11 and 4 points. I just think the volume's going to be there. A guy that's going to take between 4 and 6 shots, and at least 2 of those that are going to be 3-pointers. I think that's great volume. Didn't even mention probably the best matchup you can get, right? The Rockets. I mean, that's a team we love to target on the defensive side of the ball. So I really think that's kind of the icing on the cake. Assist is also a great look too. VanVleet's one of those guys that gets it done with both assists and points. I just thought points was a little bit too low given the amount of opportunities he's going to have. Gary Trent steal, that's pretty easy. When we think of when we think of Toronto, we think of steals, right? But OG has been getting all the attention recently. VanVleet's been getting all the attention. Trent has a steal in every game so far this season. He has a steal in every single game so far this season, and his price is significantly lower than guys like OG who have kind of caught on Twitter, right? And we see some cappers giving out that as one of their plays. So the odds are terrible, but Gary Trent is right there. He's the same kind of scrappy on-ball defender, and he gets a Rockets backcourt that Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, that's a turnover waiting to happen. So Absolutely love this combo right here. If you're not a first quarter person, get in it. It's fun, guys. It's great.
I love that. Yeah, I have a plan on them too. The Rockets had the second most turnovers in the NBA this season, only behind the Spurs, and the difference is 0.1. So they're basically the worst turnover team in the NBA. But yeah, I'm on the over 19.5 points for Fred VanVleet tonight. When I saw his point line, I was like, I mean, this guy's had 20+ in 3 straight games against them. There's no Siakam. He constantly scores. And since that Philly game when he went 0 for 11 with 1 point, I mean, he balled out against my Bulls, 27 and 30 points. So I'm with you. I love this play in general. I haven't done any first quarter plays this year. And I'm so intrigued when I watch you do them. So I'm going to have to ride this one since I'm already on Fred VanVleet anyways.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, Pascal Siakam. Dude, look at his numbers from when he was playing there for that 2-week stretch, dude. He was one of the top players, right? He's one of the top players in the league this year. And I know Vaughn just talked about his Bulls, and I'm going to be heading to that game, heading to my boy, Zion, baby. We're heading to Zion. Points tonight, 23.5, -110, DraftKings. Truly, I don't know who's going to guard him. I really don't. I don't know if you're going to try and put Patrick Williams on him. I think Zion will baby him, right? He's just going to run through him. The Bulls are actually 14th in points per game allowed in the paint. I think that Zion's going to be eating down there the whole time. Him and Jovel, 2 of the top 20 offensive rebounders in the NBA. I think that's going to be a very tough spot here for the Chicago Bigs. I don't think Vucevic is going to be able to do too much with Jovel either. I think that's a very tough matchup for him. And one thing that I think is underrated with Jovel, he actually can shoot like a decent amount, like at least from that 10 to 15 footer. So he could pull him away from the basket too, which would be very nice to have just a one-on-one matchup there heading into the paint. One other thing I really, really like to see from Zion was let's look at his minutes these last 3 games. This man is finally getting unleashed, right? Yeah. That is huge, right? We always talk about it. Zion doesn't get enough, right? He's not getting enough chances, blah, blah, blah. 34+ minutes in 3 of the last 4 games. The only one he didn't was against the Warriors, and that's obviously a rougher matchup there, but Zion obviously is one of the most efficient players in the NBA. His shots are probably about 3 feet from the basket most times. You know he's getting those dunks. But I do like to see scoring 20+ points in 5 of his last 6 games. I think he's just going to be able to eat whenever he wants down there. Obviously, I love the minutes, love the matchup, and think that the possession, they're going to have a 1.5 possession boost here with the Bulls being a little bit quicker. kind of everything's pointing me towards Zion, and he's averaging 23 a game already. Minutes, matchup, pretty much everything. I'm all over. I know, Vaughn, you're a Bulls fan. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I circled about 14, 15 different player props that I was going to look through, like in deep detail. And Zion was one of the first people that came up. And my first note on him says, no one in Chicago can defend him. Play it. So I approached a couple collab. I wanted to collab with Prop Bomb on this one. And he was telling me he likes Ingram. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. They're going to try and put Caruso on Zion a couple times. They did that against Durant, which I thought was laughable. You got Patrick Williams, who's played well recently, but he can't get defend Zion. And then you also got Derrick Jones Jr. And then Drummond and Vucevic down low. Like, after he's put up 29, 21, and 28 against them, and we've seen what the Bulls are capable of already defensively with those guys I mentioned, you can't talk me off of Zion over tonight. It's probably going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to tell both you guys. I mean, like you said, who's going to guard him? You guys kind of went through all the players, and I mean, I know Vaughn, as someone that bets against my own team all the time, it's kind of the best. You know who's going to beat your guys, right? And it's just simple, right? Zion is a different level of athlete, and those Alex Caruso possessions, I look forward to watching those on TV. The guy's got heart, but not quite there yet. Kind of like remember those high school clips of Zion bullying the little kids? It's going to look a lot like that once again. So I'm going to definitely be telling you guys right here.
Love it. I love it. I love all the support on that one. I think he should have a massive game here. And talking about massive games, dude, we've just been over and over just seeing these numbers huge for our Pickett Taylor fade guy. He has just been on another planet lately. Sometimes me and Stu are sitting here like, what is Pickett guys doing? What are you guys doing over there? Why is this? Now it's like, man, you guys are getting a little better here because I don't know how we kind of go away from this one. Obviously, Halliburton has been an absolute beast this year. I'll kick it to you, Stu, to start us off. Are you tailing or fading the public over 29.5 points plus assists?
Yeah, this is a hard one to fade, man. I mean, Halliburton is so good, like so young, right? I mean, this team's actually kind of putting some pieces around him to succeed, right? With Miles Turner playing well, even Mathurin, the rookie, kind of showing up. Buddy Hield knocking down everything. They're kind of looking like a bit of a cohesive team, which obviously takes away the biggest thing we're worried about with guards on bad teams, which is blowouts, right? Because you can't get points and assists, especially at crazy high numbers like 30 when you're getting blown out. But they're staying in these games. They're playing well. I'm going to have to go over. I normally don't love to be on the side of the public. We've had a lot of risky unders recently on the show, but I'm going to have to agree with the public right here and say that Halliburton just keeps it rolling, because if he doesn't get an assist, he'll get it in points, and vice versa. He's just so involved in this team.
Yeah.
What you got?
It's hard for me to fade this one too. I have him on my potential card for tonight. And I know a lot of people are already on this. I'm seeing DraftKings got him at minus 140 odds to the over. I don't understand why they don't want to just put the 30.5 out there. But also when you see what he did last year against them, and one of his last start, he had 15 points and 12 assists. That's 27. And I mean, that's a great game still. So, I look at that and I'm like, man, I could see that happening tonight. Something like that. But when you see what Denver's allowed to point guard so far, I mean, he's definitely going to get his assist number. I think it's more than the points number tonight. But honestly, I would tail it. If anyone's giving it out tonight, I wouldn't be scared of it.
Love it. And yeah, I'm going to be on the over as well here. With the Jamal Murray being back too, the pace of the Denver Nuggets are way faster again this year than last year. So they're running. That definitely favors Indy here. I just like this team. I kind of like just the makeup of it, right? You can drive and kick. Then you get to look at just the potential assists is off the charts. He's number one by over a full assist over Harden at the number 2 spot. 19.3 potential assists per game is just unmatched, man. So obviously you don't even really need to convert it at that high of a rate to be able to put up pretty big numbers. And yeah, I mean, Jokic obviously isn't known in the paint to be a huge shot blocker either. So if he goes down there, he's been shooting well from 3 as well. It's tough to fade, man. He's on one lately.
And I'll say this too, like I haven't been tweeting it out, but I've been playing the Pacers a few times this season. I've only tweeted out once, but they are a great bet when they're down by double digits to come back and cover a spread. Right. And I mean, this is a road game for the Nuggets, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's a road game for the Nuggets. So they're playing a different time zone. They haven't been the best road team this year either. So if the Pacers get down early and you're seeing, a plus 11.5, plus 12.5, because the spread's only 5.5, 6 right now, I think the Pacers are a good live bet. And you'll see a guy like Halliburton pushing the pace, leading the charge, and a lot of his teammates can hit threes. So I like the Pacers a lot this year.
Yeah, tough to fade this man at this point. Let's take a look here. Todd's liking the picks. I appreciate it. I think it's the first time we've seen you here, Todd. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you're locking these ones in. Hopefully we can get another time where we get the brooms out here. Ryan bringing up 19.5 points and 9.5 assists on Prize Picks. Is there a spot you like better if you had to pick? I'll kick it to you, Vaughn. What is your thoughts? If you had to pick one, which one are you going to?
Definitely assists. I mean, you just talked about his potential assists, but yeah, the Nuggets are a bottom 5 team in assist to point guard, so his assists would be the play. Like I said, I feel comfortable with that over his points tonight. He might end up with 15 points, but he might end up with 15 assists.
Yeah, I just want to say, too, I might wait to when the combo comes out. I really do think the combo is the best way to play it because I think he might actually have a pretty good offensive matchup as well, right? I could see KCP being a much better fit on a guy like Buddy Hield, right, which gives him a lot more opportunity to kind of score himself. So I feel like combo is kind of, a better combo for me personally, but I like them both, obviously.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's head on into our second one. A guy we've seen, right? A guy we've seen from you last time, Vaughn, and I don't know why we would go away from it. He's been on fire.
Yeah, we actually get a lower number here because the books are saying there's a potential blowout here with the Celtics laying 11.5 or 12.5 against the Pistons. But like the Pacers, the Pistons are a very scrappy team that's fought pretty hard all season long, outside of one or two few spots. But we have to look at these rest advantage spots in the NBA when you're also betting these player props too, because guys could be tired from all these playing 3 games in 4 nights or traveling across the country. But in this spot particular, this is more of a fade again on the Boston Celtics and their defense. We talked about it a little bit before the start of the show, but over the last 3 games, the Celtics are allowing almost 50% from the field and 38% from three-point range to their opponents. And it's not ideal numbers, but without Robert Williams, you've seen a drop-off. But it hasn't been from big men against the Celtics. It's been from guards playing the Celtics. So Ja Morant just had 39 and 8. Jalen Brunson had 22 and 3, or 22, 10 and 3. DeMar DeRozan had 46 points alone. Garland had 29, 12 and 5. Then you saw LeVert and Mitchell drop 41 points in the same game against them. And we're not even talking about Terrence Ross earlier in the season. We're not talking about James Harden earlier in the season. We're talking about Jimmy Butler or Hero earlier in the season. This has been all season long. They have struggled against guards. And Cade Cunningham last year as a rookie, 34, 35, and 41 points, rebounds, and assists. This line's 33.5 on FanDuel, but 31.5 on DraftKings. If you're scared of the blowout, you don't have to play a full unit on it, but he's doing everything he can for the Pistons this season. Potential assists, he's 14th in the NBA. Potential rebounds, he's 55th in the NBA, which is very good for a guard in my opinion. There's nothing talking me off this with a guy that's top 25 in usage rate as well.
Ooh, I mean, I'm not the Cade guy here. That's normally PPS over there. But I think you just talked me into another one because in my brain, personally, right, when I think of Boston, I see all these pieces on paper. Brown, Tatum, they're all very capable in switches. You'd think they'd be able to handle these guards a little bit better. But like you said, I guess the numbers don't really speak for themselves. I mean, all those guys have been going off to judge based. And Marcus Smart, too, I didn't even mention, former Defensive Player of the Year over there. So it is interesting that all these guards are going off despite Boston having that good good reputation on paper. So initially I wasn't really loving it, but the more you explain it, the more you went through it. Like we say all the time, we love guys that can get it in multiple different ways, rebounds, assists, points, all of that different stuff. So I'm feeling good about this one. I like that.
Oh yeah, you ain't got to convince me. You ain't got to convince me. There's guys that I pick and I am attached to them for a very long time because they just keep making me money. And Cade has fallen into that category. I mean, dude, he's just so damn good. They set him up with perfect guys, right? You have perfect snipers out in the corner for him. I mean, you can spread the floor. It's hard to double, right? I mean, Cade is just a dude you got to back pretty much in any matchup. I don't think he's like matchup proof at this point. He's just that big of a guard. It's just obviously the blowout risk, which is why they're giving you this line. I think it's a gift, to be honest. I like the Pistons. Teams that are good dogs, right? We just talked about the Pacers. The Detroit Pistons are good dogs, man. They covered against the Bucks. They were like 10-point dogs. They lost by like 2. These guys just find a way to stay in games.
Yeah, and the Celtics aren't the best, third, fourth quarter team either. I mean, I know, like, speaking just from the Bulls game in particular, like the Bulls were losing that game by double digits for a good bit the second and some of the third quarter, even parts of the fourth, and they kept fighting back. And, the New York Knicks, a team that, always gets down and comes back to. It's just these teams are very interesting to see. It's hard for me to feel comfortable backing any team to cover a 12-point spread in the NBA, and we've only played 10 games so far.
Exactly. Perfect. Heading over to you, Stu, for your second play here, another first quarter spot for us.
Yeah, another first quarter spot. I actually like this one, I think, even more right here. Keegan Murray over 2 first quarter points, match that up with Darius Garland steal. This Murray line is really surprising to me, averaging over 4 first quarter points so far this season, and that's on 2 first quarter 3-point attempts per game, right? So he's shooting from beyond the arc, he's getting these mid-range looks as well, and it's just a weird line to me. Like I said, the volume is there, everything's looked good. He's only missed this in 1 game so far, and that he had 1 point, so he missed a free throw. He could have gotten both of them right there. It's just a kind of surprising line. I see Jay in the chat also a little bit confused. Yeah, I wasn't really getting it either. The volume has been there, but really what confused me even more, the minutes are trending upwards. He's played 8 minutes for most of the season. The last 3 games, he's played over 10 minutes. So he's clearly taken a little bit of a jump in whether it's coach's trust, whether it's on the court performance, and yet this line is still very, very low. So Murray, 2 first quarter points is probably one of my favorite plays on the slate. Finding something to match up with was a little bit harder in this game. The Kings have a lot of weird, the Kings have allowed the 3rd least blocks this season. I don't know how I would have guessed that. Maybe I read it wrong or something, but they have a bunch of short guys that drive
more threes. More threes now. So they're shooting more threes probably this year or something.
Yeah, that's true with Monk and Herter. Those guys all just launching. That's probably that's a really good point right there. But yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff. But Garland's steal has been a very consistent one for me dating back to last year. If you look back over the last 2 seasons, he's a 1.3, 1.5 steals a game kind of guy over the course of a whole season. He has a steal in every game but 1 so far this season. And it's minutes, guys. Steals, you need to be on the court, right, to get a steal. He's played 37-plus minutes the last 3 games. They didn't ease him in. Yeah, that's great advice right there. You got to be on the court to do things on the court. But, yeah, the minutes are through the roof, 37, 39. You'd think they might ease him in a little bit after the eye injury, but nope, they threw him right back in there. So absolutely love this combo. A little bit juicy, but I think Murray definitely gets the job done.
All right. Hey, what is a better segue to my play here than that breakdown with you talking about Garland at the end? My favorite play of the day so far is Darius Garland points, assists. You talked about the minutes. That's definitely going to be something that I want to talk about as well. This man is just playing so much, 38 and 39 minutes his last 2 games in competitive matchups. We got a close spread here. I think it's 5, right? 4 or 5 on the spread. He's had 12, 7, and 12 assists since coming back from his eye injury. This dude is at a 40% assist percentage for this team. That is nuts, right? When's the last time you've seen a 40 in front or 4 in front of that, right? That's obviously something I like to see. You were talking about this defense and stuff too, and I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit here because it's weird, right? When you look at their numbers, they're one of the worst in terms of 3-point or field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. But they're top 10 in 3 points allowed, which doesn't make sense, right? Because you're really bad at guarding it, but you don't give up that many. Well, you know why? Because they're second worst in points in the paint. These dudes just give up points in the paint at nauseum, right? You just drive on these guys. Darius Garland, 10th in the NBA in drives per game at 15. This is going to be a cooked spot. He is going to do whatever he wants. You look at Donovan Mitchell, because I know everybody likes to talk about how Darius Garland has Donovan Mitchell there, and that's a lot of stuff to feed. But Donovan Mitchell does not get assists. This dude has 2 assists and 2 assists his last 2 games. This man is shooting, and most of them are off of passes from Darius Garland, so I'm still getting a point there. They're doing a very good job of staggering minutes as well. We talked about that with SGA and Giddey. they have one of them on the court at all times, right? And that's what you need to do. And when Garland's on the court without Donovan Mitchell, it's his show. It's his show to run. You talked about Mobley. I think he's going to be a beneficiary from these assists as well. All of those drives, poor paint defense. That is very tough to say. Poor paint defense. There we go. The usage rate, 29% since he's been back in here, dude. It's just what gets me off of this? I don't know how we get off of this spot. He's hit it in every single game since he's been back. 31, 31, 41. Man, dude, how do I get away from taking Darius Garland over 31? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I know, Stu, you talked about it a little bit there. You gonna be tailing with me?
Oh, 100%. I love this spot. I almost came out here and played Garland as one of my plays as well. And spoiler alert, too, I'll have a Garland 2 first quarter assist play coming out a little bit later as well, most likely plus money, too. So I'm definitely on the same page. Garland, honestly, one of my favorite players. I like what he does on both sides of the ball. And I like this Cavs team in general. They're kind of built, like you said, for him to drive. And in these situations, right, he can either kick out to a number of capable shooters. He can find the roll man, whether that's Mobley or Allen. They have tons of different looks they can make in this scheme. So I love Garland. I'll 100% be telling this one.
Yeah, and just to hit on that briefly, like I've been watching a lot of Cavs games. I grew up halfway Cavs Bulls fan because Pittsburgh doesn't have any NBA. So I just rooted for Derrick Rose and LeBron James. But I still like the Cavs in a lot of ways, and Garland is pretty much the reason why. Like he's just everyone's a beneficiary around him. And you saw when they got rid of Colin Sexton, you knew that his stock was only going to go upwards. And watching Donovan Mitchell the past few games, like you said, the past 2, he only has 2 assists each. His potential assist probably isn't over more than 6 per game in that two game span. Like he is chucking threes. His points is 27.5 tonight for Mitchell. I don't hate it, but I like Garland way, way more than Mitchell tonight. I think Mitchell's 3-point prop over is the way to go if you get plus money on that. But Garland, absolutely. I might be on this to some degree too tonight. I think this is a great spot for him. At Mobley, Allen, like just the Cavs in general.
Yeah, the only thing I'm even worried about is just could they just blow these dudes out of the water? Like everywhere I'm looking, this defense probably couldn't stop us 3, bro. We could probably put up 15 on these boys.
I mean, you saw what the Clippers were doing. And the Clippers, like Paul George, I mean, he was just walking the ball up the court and hitting threes at some points, like on the Cavs. And sometimes when you got it, you got it. But the Cavs are still on a West Coast trip. Like they stayed over there on the West Coast. And you would think the spread would be larger than 4. The same number of closeout against the Clippers, but it's not. So I don't know. This might not be a bad spot for – I don't think there's going to be many blowouts in the NBA tonight, but I actually don't think the Cavs will blow the Kings out. Although on paper, yeah, it looks like Cleveland would.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's I'll send this to you, Stu, here. I know I've seen a few people talking about this guy on Twitter today. Ja Morant obviously has cooked the Spurs in the past. Is there a spot you're looking at there? Or are you kind of staying away? Obviously, the whole NBA playing Monday, off Tuesday, playing today. Is this a spot with a 13-game slate that you're looking at?
It kind of is. It definitely is. I mean, like you said, the great history, you already mentioned that. And a big reason why is points in the paint. We just touched on that a minute ago. Ja, when you talk about drives per game, he's really the guy, right? He's getting to the rim. He's probably the best finisher in the NBA right now at the rim, right? So many creative different looks. And we like Podol on this show, okay? He's our guy. He's very serviceable. He's an above average player. This isn't a good matchup for him, though. They're going to try to get him on the outside. They're going to try to make him, move a little bit more and get him into foul trouble because, he does get into foul trouble a good amount. So I think Morant is another guy too. Look at those free throws on Prize Picks a little bit later today, but I think he's just going to get anything he wants, right? He's just going to switch, attack the rim. So I definitely do like Morant, even though it's a high number. I mean, that's just who Morant is, right? Something in my heart, because I know both of you guys have done this for the last couple of years. When you see this number that high with Dillon Brooks in the lineup, with all these higher usage Desmond Bane in the lineup, I know it scares me a little bit, but I just kind of have to adjust, I guess, that this is the new Ja Morant, and he is a 30 points per game guy with Brooks now, as opposed to last year where it was like 22.8 points per game.
Yeah, I got the Ja Morant MVP ticket in my pocket. I'm not going to sit here and say it's like locked up or, it's definitely going to happen because I've been watching Luka Doncic play, and I'm like, yeah, Luka's might be the best player in the NBA. Like, I know Giannis and the Bucks are rolling, but honestly, how much better is Giannis going to get if you can't shoot threes? It's going to be the same thing until physically he starts deteriorating. Huge Giannis fan, but yeah, Luka and Ja are the two guys moving forward with the NBA. And I think Ja's assist prop at 7.5 is the look tonight over his points. I think that why his points, there's no reason why he won't score 30. I just think that he's been driving so much. His teammates have been so open. In the last 3 games, he's averaging 12 potential assists on 8.7 converted assists per game. That's an insane rate.
Yeah.
But that's because his teammates are wide open or they're getting alley-oops because he takes up so much attention. So I actually really like his assist prop against the Spurs, who have the third most assists per game against point guards, and they bottom 5 assists per game defense. So I'd probably approach it that way, but I wouldn't talk anyone off taking his points tonight.
Yeah, points assist was actually one of the spots I was looking at as a potential spot on the show. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to go away from Jaws. I mean, pace up spot, which is tough to do when you're Memphis, right? It's tough to have a pace up spot for Memphis, and the Spurs found a way to do it. So, yeah, it should be an interesting game. Obviously, Ja can do this against anybody, right? But the Spurs are just not good.
Steven Adams might get ran off the court in this game. Not gonna lie, I was looking at his unders. I was definitely thinking like the pace of this game means Steven Adams, he should not play more than 25 minutes. Like he could be a liability out there tonight. So that's just something worth thinking about too.
Yeah, no, I think on DK I was looking at maybe playing Aldama in that game just because he's got that little bit more of the driving ability and a little bit more. I'm not gonna say Steven Adams ain't athletic, but he's got that little bit more lengthy athletic type of feel for this type of game that's going to be just up and down. I saw that. What was the total there? Like 235. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think it's either the highest or second highest total on the board today. It's up there.
Beautiful, beautiful. If you guys have any more questions, we got 45 of you guys in here. Smash that like button while you're in here as well. We're going to do a quick recap for you guys right now. So if you guys just tuned in, you can get all the plays right now. We'll run through them quick. And also, if you guys aren't in here and you're not here live and you're just tuning in quick, drop the questions. I'll be able to, obviously, I get the update to my phone every single time there's a comment on here. So if you guys do have some, drop them in there, and we'll try our best to get to them after the show. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. Let's head on over. Let's start off with you, Stu. Let's do our recap here. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, drop them in the comment section.
Yeah, we'll start out with the first quarter plays. We're going Fred VanVleet, 4 first quarter points. Pairing that up with Gary Trent, 1 steal, -110 on DraftKings. Then we're going to Keegan Murray, 2 first quarter points. Matching that up with Darius Garland steal, -130 over on DraftKings. And then, I'm going to be tailing the public right here on Halliburton over 29.5 points and assists.
Beautiful, beautiful. That was a good rundown there. Vaughn, take it away.
Going with KD over 31.5 points. Empire state of mind tonight, 32 and 53 in his last 2, and it's a revenge spot since he missed those free throws to send the game in OT against Dallas. So I love KD tonight. We're going Cade Cunningham over 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. I see DK just juiced it to -130, still 33.5 on FanDuel, but you could watch the show earlier, hear about all the guards that have hit this over against the Boston Celtics this year. Oh, yeah, we're telling Tyrese. I mean, I might end up betting myself tonight. But like I said, if he doesn't hit this, he'll be on 27, 28, or 29. That's how efficient he's been leading the NBA in a potential assist per game. So wouldn't talk you off Tyrese tonight. He's the man.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I will be tailing as well. So we have the full 3 of us all on that one. Obviously, we've all been making money with the Halliwagon there for sure. I'm heading over to Zion Williamson tonight, 23.5 points. I'll be on the over -110. That is specifically on DraftKings at that number. And my biggest play of the night will most likely be this one, and that's going to be Darius Garland over 30.5 points plus assists at -110 there. Coming off a 5-0 show, feeling great about this one here. I do not. Did any of you guys see any more questions in there? Did I miss any?
No, I didn't see any.
We're all good.
Awesome, awesome. So, Vaughn, we appreciate you popping on here again. Tell the people where they can find you. Tell them what else we can be expecting to see from you for the rest of the night. Because I saw you had a couple more plays out there, so make sure they follow you over on Twitter for sure.
Yeah, for sure. On Twitter, VMoneySports. Yeah, we got Battle of the Bets today. I'm starting in that one. I made a Drake lyric reference. Hope you guys enjoy it because it was one of the best things I've ever said since I've started working for NBC. Yeah, no, it's been fun. I'm on Jamal Murray over 4.5 assists tonight, and then we also have Van Fleet over 19.5 points. But I love the Zion and Garland looks. Might be adding them. I'll have a collab with Prop Bomb. He called me while I'm on the show. I had to decline the call. Sorry, brother. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me. It was a great show again. And hopefully we cash again. That's all.
Yeah,
Stu?
no. I mean, Sue, make sure you follow us all on Twitter, right? I mean, last show we swept on here, so that was crazy. Vaughn didn't mention it. He had like an 8-unit win that day. I mean, he went absolutely
8.5 units on 8-0, but we don't brag because you know what? This is going to be the norm. We've learned a lot since the playoffs of last NBA, and now we're going to apply it to this entire season. So it's going to be the best season yet, and we're going to be, all three of us are going to have a great run doing this together. Hopefully weekly. We can do this weekly. I'll love to be on. So let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, if we keep winning like this, I mean, you might have to come on here every single day. We might need a Tuesday show, Sunday show. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, no. And also, yeah, shout out Pickett, 100%. They got our tail or fade play of the day. If you guys want to tail or fade the public, you can go over, use code PTP over on Pickett because, you know, it's early, 3 o'clock. The public will obviously jump on like LeBron James or something if he plays later. And you want to know who to fade, right? I mean, that's kind of the point of this whole thing. So obviously go over there and check it out if you haven't already.
Love it. And one thing about the Taylor fade that I always like to mention here is if you are fading, please just wait till like 10 minutes before the tip off. Yeah. Because if you're fading the public and taking the under on Tyrese, I guarantee it's going to end up at 30.5 with just the amount of pure volume on those. So just a little thinking ahead of things here. But yeah, great show again. I know we talked about it before we headed off last time. Was that one just felt really good, and I feel like this one too. We have a lot of good spots, a lot of bigger players too that are going to come out and do their thing today. So again, Vaughn, we appreciate you for popping on here. And I mean, what is it? We're going for. What 11 if we can get all 6 of these, that would be might be a new past the prop record. So I'm very excited, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on here again soon. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in, guys. We will see you on Friday 12 Central Time for some NFL bets for week 10 11 what are we on right now?
10 now. It's 10. College football is 11. Yeah. NFL is 10.
Okay, yeah, I'm all over the place right now with those.
Can I drop a little spoiler too?
Hey, you can drop whatever you need to.
Saquon Barkley, 93.5 rush yards. It's 90 on Prize Picks too. If you're a Prize Picks guy, or both of those two, it's going to be like 105 on Friday when we do this show. So just get ahead of the steam, get it in right now. That's where I'm going to do as soon as we get off this show. So
do you want another one? Do you want one from me?
I do.
It hasn't come out yet. But as a Steelers fan, watch out for George Pickens this weekend. They traded Chase Claypool, and they're going to be done with Deontay at some point. Like, I don't know when, but it's going to be done. But George Pickens might go bananas this weekend against New Orleans Saints. I don't know if they even look Deontay's way more than 5 times, honestly. So whatever his line comes at, it's probably going to be like 10 yards too low.
I'll drop a one that I'm looking at, but I haven't bet it yet. I bet you Stu can guess it before we head off. I bet you can guess it.
Tyreek Hill.
He'll be in it. He's
automatic.
That's default, bro. You already knew that one. Your favorite guy, my favorite guy, but your actual favorite guy.
Yeah, I still have no clue who we're talking about.
Tony Pollard, baby, against my Packers. Against my Packers in Lambeau. Woo. He's gonna make the card. You can make the card. I know Stu loves Tony Pollard, man. I mean, that was good. That was good. So there's all three. All three of us get to drop one here at the end. So thank you guys for tuning in. And hopefully we can get another 6 winners here for you guys. So have a good one, and we'll see you Friday.